Welcome back to another episode of Podcast P, a Wave Sports and Entertainment original. It is your guy, PG, and I'm joined with my guys, Dallas Rutherford and Jackie Long.
Yeah.
We're taping this during the second round of the NBA draft, so you know how the league goes. A lot of craziness goes down. We won't be covering that yet, but we'll get to that when we can, all right? This episode, we got a special guest. We got a rising star. It's crazy that this person could be the first ever to win a three-point contest and a dunk contest in the same year. The rising star out of the New Orleans Pelicans, Trey Murphy, the third.
I like that, P.
Hey, I like that. That's
You like that?
I like that.
You like that? Yeah, you know what I mean?
He'd be the first to do it, huh?
He could be the first to do it.
First to do the dunk and the three-point.
Just for a fun fact, do you guys know there was two other players?
That's what I'm trying to think of.
He could be the third to compete in both, but he could be the first to potentially win both. But do you know who the other two players are
Nate
that
Robinson?
competed in both?
No, it was Damon. Wasn't you?
Vin?
Nope.
Was it
In the same year.
Oh,
Did Vince Carter do it?
Dame was one.
Dame
Did
is
Vince
one
Carter
for
do
sure.
So he was- okay.
No.
He never.
No, not the same
Ray
year.
Allen.
Ray Allen.
Wow.
No.
Ray Allen didn't
Ray
do
Allen
It's
it.
not
did
Ray
no
Allen.
dunk.
I'm sorry. It's not
Ray Allen had bounce.
Yeah, he had bounce.
He did.
He did.
Yeah.
He did a dunk contest.
Yeah, bounce.
And
Yeah.
he did multiple
There's some,
three-point
there's
contests.
some dudes that
Jack-
don't have bounce.
Jack, you
But
should know
not
that.
in the same year.
I remember the Ray Allen one.
Kenny Smith.
Oh,
Kenny
okay.
Smith.
Oh,
There you
leg
go.
did a little
I see what
homework.
you're doing
Yeah,
there.
right?
I see what you're doing
I did
there.
a little homework
Okay.
there.
Leg did
Jesus
that. Leg did that. Leg did that. I didn't know leg did that. That's why the leg like that.
Leg is crazy.
I want to watch old footage. Like, was his knees always like that?
I don't
There's
know.
no
I think they, no.
They
No,
couldn't-
right?
He wouldn't have got drafted if his legs was like that. Trust me, they
He wouldn't have passed medical, man. Hey, leave the jet alone. Hey, jet. It ain't this.
Say he wouldn't
It's
have
coming
passed
from this way.
medical, though.
It's coming from this way.
I'm just saying, he wouldn't have made it to the
I gotta
league with
protect
them
Jet,
legs
man.
like
That's
that.
fucked up.
Man, I shout out to Ken, man.
So what's up, man? What's up, Trey? You in LA working out? How the summer going?
It's going well. I
Yeah?
mean, I started up pretty early. It's hard for me to take a break
Right.
right now. Still young, so you know how that goes.
Right.
But yeah, just out here in LA right now working with Jrue Holiday, and
Okay.
it's been good.
What after finishing this year, you was like, man, I need to address this right here.
I think the biggest thing is just shot creation.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is really big in our league. If you're able to get a bucket, especially in the playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
everybody switches, everybody has game plans. You got to be able to, get a bucket on your own.
Right.
Obviously, I'm not going to rely on that for the most part, but I'm going to still have that in my bag. So when the time comes, I'll be able to have it.
Yeah, exactly. We're doing something a little bit different here on Podcast P today because this is the off season, and we're going to take a wider look at the league and the state of the game.
So, guys, we got to talk about it. As P mentioned, the second round of the NBA draft is going on, and I want your two opinions and thoughts on the talk of the town right now. We're in Los Angeles, and Bronny James got drafted by the Los Angeles Lakers and is going to have an opportunity to be a teammate. His teammate is going to be his dad.
Mm-hmm.
What are your guys' initial thoughts when you see that?
That's dope. I think people hate it on it. Like they're not looking at it from like what that means to Bron.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like that's dope. I get to play with my son. Like, and as big as his legacy is, like that's part of his legacy too. Like the first player ever to be able to play with his son in the NBA. That shit is not
That's
talked
dope
about
as
enough.
hell, man.
You know what I mean? Like people are hating on like, oh, Bronny isn't a prospect. He isn't this. He isn't that. And it's wrong because I think people have a certain image that they think Bronny's supposed to be. But he's not Bron. You know what I mean? He's his own person and he's going to be his own player. Like, and I think he's good. I think he has talent. But they're not, you know what I mean, giving the credit, or they're not looking at it from the lens of like, man, Bron is doing something that hasn't been done. He get a chance to play with his son, coach his son. And like that, like how cool is that going to be when you see
Them
at
on
any point in the
sideline.
season? I don't know how soon JJ Redick is going to throw Bronny out there, but it'd be cool to see. Like, just imagine Bronny throw a lob to
Well, it's
LeBron,
gonna
and
be
it's
lit.
like LA is going to go crazy.
It's going to be lit.
Yeah.
I think you're not gonna be able to get no tickets at all. Every game sold out.
It's been like that.
every game. But it's going to be really sold out now. Nothing.
Bronny got that.
They
that
just
pull?
wait. Come on, not just
People are going to
Bronny.
watch that.
You want to see LeBron and his
James?
son play.
You wanna see
It
the
don't
James?
matter. You don't know what game is going to happen, but when it happens, you're going to be front row center.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean,
that's-
if there's any word that like Bronny's playing tonight, like for sure.
Oh,
I mean,
it's
preseason for sure. I feel like they'll definitely throw them in there together. I mean,
yeah.
one of them last few games, they might be like, all right, Bron, he'll probably play for one of these and put Bronny out there, put them both on the court at the same time. I feel like
Right.
it'd be
I just don't
pretty
see how people really think the boy isn't ready. All his life, he been playing with number pros.
Mhm.
Like, literally, all his life, he been playing with pros. What they going to say, just because his height, he's not tall like his daddy? The boy had a heart problem and still came back balling and doing stuff in the
combine.
The
combine, balling
Yeah.
like that
Mhm.
after a heart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
tough.
it's like, come on,
Yeah.
leave the boy alone.
I
Let
think
him just play.
I think it's going to be interesting because, you know, as you guys know, there's a lot that you have to learn when you go to the NBA. And I think he's in such an interesting position right now because his teammate's going to be his dad. Like, let's just think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's different.
is he going to get a
That-
whooping on the court if you know what I mean? Like, it's his
different.
dad. It's a weird dynamic. Like,
Yeah.
the way you look at, you know, we all look at our dads.
Yeah,
like,
that is
differently.
crazy. Hey, son, throw that in the trash for
Yeah.
me. I ain't throwing that away. What?
And-
What?
Yeah, and I do think the argument is fair, like from the other side of, hey, has he really, you know, earned it from his own merit? I think that's a fair argument to make, but that's a lot to put on an 18-year-old with everything that's going on. And granted, he's been in that spotlight his whole career, or his whole life, their whole
life.
family has dealt with that.
Right.
So I'm going to be interested to see how
Yeah.
he manages that as an individual. That's a lot.
And I like what you said. People not thinking about how LeBron James feels.
How LeBron
Like,
James
that's
feel. Like,
my son. I get
yeah.
to play with my son.
Right.
I don't care how y'all think. I'm playing with my son.
Right.
Y'all should have had a son to play with y'all. I got mine.
It just hits a whole nother level.
Yeah.
It
It's
hits
dope.
a whole nother
Different
level.
things you think about, like imagine practice when like Bron's team's going against Bronny's team. Like,
It's gonna be dope.
Yeah.
you know they're gonna be talking shit. Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. For sure.
LeBron, mouse in the house.
you still my son. You still my son now. Like,
Yeah.
like, that's gonna be kind of cool.
Right. Yeah. Like what it's just the dynamic of that. You know what I mean? Bronny get a little fast break. Bron trying to chase it down. Like
Do you think he'll play? Do you think he'll have an opportunity to play
I
this
think
year
so.
in a game?
I'm a
YES.
fan of Bronny.
YES.
I'm a fan of Bronny. So yeah, why not? I think he has NBA potential for sure.
Yeah. And then you also have to worry about the other side, which I'm sure all the other guys in the NBA, he's going to have a target on his back. Like, you know,
For sure.
imagine Patrick Beverley, the opportunity that he gets to have on Bronny. Like, he's going to take advantage of that.
You do, but he got a good protector behind him.
Very
So
true.
I think he'll be all right.
That's gonna
right.
be great.
I think he'll be all right.
Imagine how Savannah feel. The
Oh, my
mama.
God.
You know,
Like,
that's
she had LeBron James when he was in high school all his life, seeing his whole NBA career.
And now my
And
son
now
is
my
playing.
son
Yeah.
that I birthed is in the NBA.
Not only in the NBA, but playing with his
with,
dad.
with my with, the,
With
like,
my husband.
I'm still going through this shit. It's like that how she feel.
Yeah.
Like
cool.
that's amazing.
It is dope.
Bron
It is dope.
he might get in his first fight this year.
You think
What you say?
Bron?
Yeah, LeBron might be in a
because
lot of
somebody-
scuffles this year.
I was picking on his son.
Yeah, that's
I told
dope.
he ain't nothing. He's soft. He's soft. He shouldn't even be here. What you mean, boy? I'm LeBron James. What's that? Who that dude always say I'm LeBron James? What's that dude?
LeBron James.
I'm
LeBron
LeBron
James. He a
James.
comedian or something, right?
You talking
Everything.
about
The kid.
Some dude. He
yeah,
always
think
gets
it's
in the
Phillips,
jokes.
yeah, Supreme, yeah,
Yeah, oh,
He's
yeah,
very
yeah,
funny,
RDC,
bro.
RDC,
They're
yeah.
good.
They're very good, very good.
Funny as hell. Man, you sitting in a seat right now that I couldn't even believe we had the number 2 and 3 pick. Alex Sarden, Reed Shepard, man. I mean, dog, I couldn't even believe it. But I want to ask y'all something, both of y'all. I want y'all to tell me what's the difference between the rookies from back in the day compared to the ones that's coming into the league right now. What y'all think is the difference?
Let me hear what you guys say, because you fairly new as well.
Decently. I would say attitude. I mean, obviously, I can't speak to exactly the rookies back then, but I feel like we have a certain flair to us and a certain level of, like, we really want to show, like, our worth. Like, as you can see with Ant, obviously, he's not a rookie, but he's a young guy. You saw that playoff series. He's talking to Katie like, I'm here. Like, this is my time. Like, I understand you one of my favorite players, but this is my time. And I just feel like all of our, like, a lot of the rookies in these new draft classes have a lot of flair and a lot of moxie to them.
I would say it's just obviously players now are a lot more talented natural just gifted than especially when I came in the league. But I would say we were more hardworking in terms of like, I feel like the kids now, like if, they don't really know how to handle like not being, the guy necessarily right away or getting opportunity right away. When we came in the league, like that was the expectation. Like you got to work your ass off to try to get a spot to play, and like that's just what it was. You know what I mean? You wasn't complaining about like not playing. It was just like that's just how coaches were. Like old school coaches wasn't playing rookies. Like you knew that, and so it was just like, man, I just got to try to make whatever impression I could, work as hard as I could, like treat practices like games. And I think now, like the young fellas, they kind of, like I said, they're talented, but it's like, well, he ain't gonna play me then. Shit, man, I ain't working out. Like,
sorry to interrupt, but I feel like a big piece of that is social media too,
for sure.
And also guys coming in and they haven't met any adversity growing up. They've been number one player all their lives. They've been 5 stars, McDonald's All-American, Jordan Brand, and they come to the NBA where there's a bunch of those.
Mm-hmm.
And so then they don't know how to handle that. Like for me, I think the biggest thing that helped me was that I didn't have any stars growing up. I had 6 offers coming out of high school, transferred to another school, and ended up, get my name on the map. And I never was handed anything.
Mm-hmm.
Always had to work hard for it. And so when my rookie year came and I didn't play well until March, like season starts in October and you don't play well till March, that's a long time.
Right, that's a long time.
That's a long time. I play like 1 minute in the month of January. It's not funny, bro.
I'm with you. It's not like it's not like when I was drafted, like I was right in the pit. Like it took me. I went from, I don't know, maybe playing 5 games, 10 games, leading up to probably around like March after they fired the head coach then, and then I started to finish my rookie season. So my shit was literally down here, and then I finished the season up here. You know what I mean? So like it goes like that. I think that's just the NBA. But like I think like so many rookies at that moment would have like somebody else would have passed him over. If that time back then was presented to him now, they would have been looked over because they'd be like, oh man, kid got an attitude. He he's this. He ain't working. Like, but back then I think that was just like, all right, I'm gonna stay on the grind. Like,
is this the first year they ever had overseas NBA draft lottery picks that got picked the first round like this?
That got, what do you mean?
It was like 4 of them that got picked.
That went,
right?
No,
a lot of them. You're saying?
I think
right.
There's a lot from France.
It was a lot. It was a lot of France and Serbia.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, and Germany. Germany has some players.
The social media aspect, though, is interesting because I think social media can be such a plus, but it can also, I think, not to mention any names, but we've seen it kind of be negative for some individuals that can't handle, on their social medias. But how much do like GMs and stuff, the back office, look into the player and how they're behaving on social media? Do you think that's a factor on if they're going to be drafting you or not?
Man, they do their investigation. I'll tell you that.
For sure.
I know my 7th grade teacher, they like called him.
Oh my God.
And because they told my mom on Facebook, they were like, yeah, like this organization just called like asking about Trey. I'm like, my 7th grade teacher? Are you really about to draft me because of what my 7th grade teacher just said?
You're probably nervous too, huh?
No, I was a good kid.
Okay.
I was a good kid.
In class all day.
Now if he would have got
That's
elementary
crazy.
school though, then I would have been a little nervous. But 7th grade, I was good though. I was good.
I mean, they deep dive in this. Like, you got to understand, man.
What's the most they did for you?
I mean, I've had stories like that of like them talking to my high school coach or them, reaching out to, custodians. Like, they do that. Like, they do their due diligence to see like what kind of kid we're getting.
They do they.
I mean, if you're gonna pay somebody millions of dollars, you wanna know everything about them.
Right.
They for sure looked up P's MySpace. Who was his top 8?
For sure.
You didn't edit none of it? Like,
I had a top 32, so.
Oh, okay.
I was nice.
Did you have like a custom MySpace page?
Yeah, I was nice with the coding.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Good.
You came to my page recently. You had
I had MySpace.
a party.
Y'all showing your age. Y'all showing your age. Right now.
We
You
aged
didn't have
over
it
here.
you before MySpace.
He didn't even heard of MySpace. He like,
I heard of
that's
it.
crazy.
After MySpace.
That's
I
what
should say.
that it used to be
That's
it.
crazy.
Instagram
He
was
don't
his
got a
first social
MySpace.
media.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
I still got an AOL and a Yahoo account.
Oof.
I do too. I don't know
That's
what
how
my
my
user
parents-
is.
I
but
still got an
You don't remember
AOL
your
and Yahoo.
AOL like AIM username?
No, you still do?
Got him, coach 321.
Wow.
You don't remember
so
your
can still
AIM on
sign
your
in-
sidekick?
You can sign in
Coach.
right now.
I'm not sure I'd know the login, but I remember that username. That's like a gamer tag that stays with you for life, I feel like.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, anyways,
We
moving on.
old.
Yeah, a little bit.
We old.
Do you guys think it's going to be tough for a player like Jared McCain, who has a huge following on social media? He is the man on social media. He's good at it. And then he gets into the NBA and he's only playing 1 minute in his first 5 games or something like that. Do you think it's going to be more difficult for people like that are used to kind of being in the spotlight and having all the attention, and then they get to the NBA and they're just another fish in the pond per se?
I think he's been himself his entire time, so I don't think he really cares. Like, he didn't start off super great when he was at Duke, so I think he probably dealt with a lot of that already. I mean, when you're at this level, you're going to deal with hate no matter if you got 90,000 followers or 900,000 followers. Like, it doesn't really matter. So I think for him it's just, keeping your head down, working, understanding like it's a long process, and what these people are saying about you on social media, they're not better than you at basketball. So, like, what does it matter what they're saying? In all honesty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think, he's played on, like, Duke is a major platform as it is. Like, I think he's seen and played, obviously the NBA is another level, but he's played at that, level that he would get any type of scrutiny and that could affect him any type of way already. But personality, stands out more than anything. He's got a personality that, like, I'm me. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do me. I'm me. The fact that he don't give a fuck that he paints his nails and what people say about that, and he can still be himself and go hoop. Like,
and he get all his nails done.
You can call him anything at that point.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
he usually do 2 in 1. He do all.
It's probably actually a good thing. He probably has thick skin. Like, he's used to people just saying wild stuff.
He's got a toughness about him too. Like, so I don't think he gives a shit.
Yeah. So your teammate, Herb Jones, was named first team all defense this season. And I know you were one of the main people advocating for him. And this year was the first year that they made that team positionless. Do you like that the all defensive team is like that? Or would you possibly like to see it go back to the other way where there were positions?
Not necessarily, because I think Herb got penalized for that last year because he was a forward. And so he was in that category with all like the bigs, and you already know how they, rank the bigs when it comes to defense. They're always going to give them a little bit of an edge. So I'm not mad at it. I just put the 5 best defenders on the first team, second 5 best, and that's how it should be, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Pete, what do you think about that? Because you've seen both sides.
Yeah, I've seen both sides, and I agree. I agree. I think you reward the best defenders regardless of what position they play. You know what I mean? Our game is going positionless anyways. Like, reward the players for being, I don't care if it's 5 guards. Like, if those are the 5 best defenders in our league, like, then they should be first team. Like, that's who our best defenders are. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be like someone's playing defense or someone's, you know what I mean? And now they're left off a list that they should be on. I wasn't a fan of that to begin with. And I think that kind of penalized me in some ways. Just being real, it kind of penalized me in some ways of being whether first team or second team, or like I might have defended better than
who?
I'm just saying, I'm just giving a reference. Not me in general, but like I'm putting myself into a player's position. I might have defended better than a power forward. But because there's only
one slot
there, like that power forward got the first team nod. Now I got to take the second team nod. You know what I mean? Opposed to like, I'm appreciated as one of the best top 5 defenders of this year.
Tell him, P. Talk your shit.
I'm just saying.
Talk your shit.
We're talking.
I wonder
state
why
of
it took
the
so
NBA.
long for it to do that. Like, wonder why. Like, I mean, it's been like that for a while.
But they're going
the blue,
to that
they
now.
change it.
I mean, the All-Star games being positionless. Like,
Yeah.
I think the NBA is starting to just transition everything towards positionless basketball.
I was just going to mention that same thing. Not just the All-Star game, but just the way the game's played.
Yeah.
It's pretty much all guards anyways.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember. You remember that play he blocked me?
Oh, yeah. I've watched it a few times.
You remember that play?
Which
Remind
one?
me. Let's walk me through the play.
Damn, how many times he blocked me?
Twice. Rookie year and then last year.
I don't remember that. Oh shit! But
That was
the 3-point, the 3-point one was crazy.
He was at the block,
bro.
Is this in the corner?
It was
No,
top of the
top of the
key,
key.
dead top of the key. And he's like,
The
I
block.
promise you, his head was under the basket.
No exaggeration.
Crazy closeout.
And I
Got
wasn't
that
shooting
shit
it well.
going.
I think I
Bro,
wasn't
it's
shooting it
crazy.
well that game. And so it was like the first opportunity where I had like, oh, let me square this motherfucker. Like this one gotta go in. Like, so I took my time, squared it up, and I just see him. And I swear he took off from like, I don't know where he took off from.
Oh, free throw line.
Maybe,
free throw
and that's a
line.
long distance.
Yeah.
What's his wingspan?
Like 7'1", 7'2".
He was
Makes
like
sense.
Jordan when he stretched out in Space Jam. I
Space
swear to you, bro, I shot that shit. That motherfucker went back like that.
I love that he said twice. Like,
Oh,
what were you talking about, the rookie year? Or like, do you guys like
Talk about the stupid look.
do you keep like track of that kind of stuff? Because I would assume like I'd like to think that you look up to guys like Paul or Kevin Durant, and then you get into the league. Do you guys like the young guys keep kind of? You have to have a good memory, and you guys talk about that kind of stuff. Like, oh, I did that to him my rookie year, and it's like, well, bro, did you see what I did? Like when my second year, what I did to him? Like, is that something you guys talk about?
I think it really just depends on like guys' love for the game, in all honesty, because if you really love it, you're gonna remember all the things that you really do. Like, there's some guys don't really care enough, where it's just like, all right, yeah, like I did it, but like I'm not gonna remember the exact details. Like, I could remember like almost every single memorable play I've had because like I really just digest basketball, watch all of it, and then also too like when you look up to those guys, like and you do something like that, it's like it's pretty cool. Like my second year, I'm not gonna say I dunked on Bron, but like kind of dunked on Bron. He was in the picture. And
Okay.
it's a good looking picture. I remember that for
Is that-
sure.
Is that the most memorable moment? Is that number one for you?
It's up there. Either him or Giannis.
Okay.
One of them.
Did you do any flex or anything disrespectful after?
I yelled after the Bron one.
That's
The
disrespectful.
No, it wasn't. It was necessary.
Bron?
It was necessary.
Okay.
It was
So
necessary.
you got one of those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not that good
Okay.
though. No, not that good though. I can't lie. That's a nice one. I remember that one when I was like 11.
That was 13.
Oh, I
no,
was
that was 14, 2014.
That's nasty. Good looking bird.
Yeah, we already we apologized to Birdman. We can't just keep doing this.
I
to him.
know.
Yeah, I mean, it's
No,
front
that's
and
a-
center of the
that's a
show.
great- that's a
Like,
great
Bird
dunk,
getting
though.
clowned
It
every
is. That's a
episode.
classic.
Like I remember that. I was
He'll never be a
14.
fan of this show.
I was
Every
14.
episode he's getting
He's
clowned.
right in the
us.
middle every
Yeah.
episode.
Wait, how old were you when you did that?
I was 23 or 24.
Dang.
Damn, he got. I'm gonna say he dunked on LeBron.
But
too.
you know what's
Hey,
crazy?
LeBron's in there
LeBron's
too.
right there, man.
LeBron,
You know what's
oh.
crazy though? Like in the moment, it's like, yeah, I did this on so and so. I did this, but now, like as I gotten older, it's like, oh man, that was old. So and so.
That was some new shit. Huh?
So that doesn't like it doesn't.
It don't.
hit the
It
same?
don't. Nah, because it's like, damn, like they was old then when I did that. Or like, because I played against like some old heads. You know what I mean? Like I was in the league when J Kidd was in there, T Mac was in there.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean,
Yeah.
Miami Heat,
My
Bron.
favorites.
That's
I don't know
that's
if I don't know if you
throwback.
can get.
Like,
I mean, but he was,
Chauncey
he
Billups
was still
was
pretty
playing,
good.
like-
Damn, I mean, like he was really good.
Iverson was still
Like,
playing when I
Miami
came in.
and
Like,
switched
you
it up.
know what I mean?
That's
I've
Bronny,
been
like,
in the
come
league for a
on.
while. I feel like.
Give
Yeah,
himself some
you
credit,
have
man.
So when you do
He tryna
plays
act cool,
against
he tryna
like
act cool.
people that
Always
you looked
humble.
up to, it's like, they was old. Like I wish I caught them.
Yeah,
when they
like
was-
it's not. I get what you're saying.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
I
I
didn't
wish
catch him in his prime.
Yeah, I wish I
like-
caught him in his prime.
Like someone scored on Jordan when he was on the Wizards, and it's like,
Yeah. At the time, they was like, yeah, like hold that. Like, but then when you realize, like, he's old.
You just being humble, P. It's so sweet of you. You're so nice.
Yeah.
It's good of you. But like you said,
Thank
you would
you.
have been clowning.
Oh, for sure.
Come on, P.
I was clowning then.
P. You ain't gotta be humble all the time on
I
stuff
was-
like that.
No. That's just how I am.
That's nice of you.
Respect.
But
That's-
anyway,
That's real genuine.
Yeah, I like that of you. That's what.
I wish the same applied on
That's
Call of
good.
Duty.
Nah, y'all need to be better.
Oh, his attitude is crazy. But
You,
Oh,
play, you on the duty?
Yeah, I am.
There we go.
But the thing is, I'm not trying to hear that whole lieutenant, like, you need to be better. Like,
he's a
Oh,
I'm going to
you
have
don't wanna
off
play
I'm
with-
going to have off games, bro.
Yeah,
Like, don't
his
be on
attitude
Yeah, you don't want to
sucks.
play with me
his
then.
attitude sucks.
You don't play with me.
Are you like?
'Cause this is what my problem is, and I'll admit to it. My problem is I expect them to know what I'm doing
Did you hear that?
while
That's the
I'm
first
playing.
messed
You're
up
not
thing
going
he
to
just said.
communicate?
It just,
You
when
gotta have better comms.
You know when you're in the zone and you focused and you hunting somebody down and you fighting, like you can't be like, they on me, like you can't. It's hard to do that.
It's like playing a basketball game.
No, it's not. It's not because it's so hectic. Like, say you kill somebody and then someone else run into the door and you focusing on that and then you down him and then now you trying to run. It's too much to be like trying to fight them and communicate to them. So I'll be like, oh,
boo.
And they should hear all this gunfight going on.
Well,
and then when I get knocked,
first of all,
but hold up, though. Are you the guy that's going to venture off from the group and then when you die, you're like, yo, where y'all at?
Oh, don't let him die.
No.
Don't let him die.
No, for reference, that's kind of what I'll do. Like, all right, it's people here. Like, on me. And then after I say that, I expect like
everyone to be there.
Drop everything you're doing. I need
like
help.
The Avengers.
Like
I can only hold them for so long. Like usually I'm good with a squad. Like
everything you doing to go
you can
help
only
him.
hold them for so long. But God forbid there's another enemy like that we're battling right now. Like he expects us to get out of our fight and get.
It's like y'all find people like, hold up, y'all. We about to go help P out.
Shadow.
I think that's my only problem.
To revive him and to shoot somebody that he already unshot, where he basically getting the kill. We just getting an assist. And that's what it is. And he's going to yell at us. We yell at us. I'm not playing with y'all no more. Let's get on and play tennis. And that's how it is. Attitude sucks. But anyways, I'm done with Call of Duty because I want to talk about it because they're not going to play with me no more. And I'm a gamer now. I'm good. So stop that. We're going to talk about how everybody's been talking about Jason Tatum. Okay? How everybody's talking about he should be the front runner for the MVP next season. And I want to tell y'all because it's always some type of debate on the criteria, how they vote for the MVP, and I don't know. Okay, I don't know how it go because it's supposed to be the best player on the team, the best player who get all the stats, the assists. I don't know. So I want to ask y'all, what would you say is the most important thing to be considered for the MVP?
I think you gotta look at, like I thought Shea was the best example of, and he didn't win it, but I thought he was the best example of what the MVP should be. Like what he did to a team that no one had expectations, especially playing in the West, how hard that is to be number one and average 30 plus. I don't know what, 33, 34. I don't know what he actually averaged, but 30 something. And to take that team where he took them, like I thought it was a no-brainer. Like, not to say the Thunder didn't give Shea help, but this was a team that no one had any expectations of. So for me, I feel like I just think like what you actually bring to the table and how you affect your team's success should be valued the most. Because if you take Shea off that group, OKC is probably in the lottery. Like, let's just be real. As much talent they have, I just thought they were young and they lacked the experience that Shea brought and gave the confidence to a lot of players. So, I mean, if we're looking at the front runner MVP for next season, Shea's got my pick.
I think he's, like you say, show every aspect of being an MVP.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's changed over the years. Like, as time has progressed, I think media has played a really big factor into it. Like, 2 years before. No, Embiid won it. No offense to Embiid or anything like that, but Jokic had the race in his hands, and then media got involved, and they were like, you know what, maybe we should just give it to Embiid.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to say he didn't earn it, but I know what you're saying. The script got flipped. And I think a big part of it is media because everybody says, like, oh, it has to be like the player on the best team and all that. But there's so many times where 4th place team, even the 7th place team or 8th place team, I can't remember what place Russ's OKC team was.
They was in 8th.
8th.
Yeah.
So you're going to give the MVP to somebody who was in 8th. Obviously had one of the most historic seasons. He averaged a triple-double.
Right.
But it's just like Luka was averaging close enough to a triple-double on the 5th place team, and it's like, oh no, he can't get MVP. They're 5th place team. Like, it seems like the bar is moved for different people.
Yeah.
And I think that is, I mean, as much as unfair, it just is reality to an extent.
They making Luka do it all over again until they do it.
Absolutely.
I hate when they do that. Do y'all think y'all should be included in the voting?
For sure. I think like if we vote honestly, like that comes down to an honesty because
yeah, that's me.
Yeah, we got to be an honesty.
That's true.
Like, names be on the all-star list and they be hurt the whole year. Like there's got to be an honesty.
There'll be some trolling going on because I know my all-star ballot. There's some trolling going on.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
What's there?
Yeah, I can't tell you all the names I put on there, but there's definitely some guys on there that We're not all-stars. So
And what about do you think the media should be removed? Because there's that, big battle between media, players getting into the media now. Like, do you think the media should have a vote?
I think it should be a weighting system. Like, you should weight, different job titles differently. Like, players, they should probably have, like, a higher weight. Obviously, you have to tell them, like, look, you have to make a very, like, honest, like, pick. And, like, media, be like, all right, you get a pick, but it's not worth as much as the players or the coaches, or even, you could even put front office in there. Like,
that's a good take, because there's so many, like, especially now, there's so many ex-players that are involved in the media now, like, that watch the game, around the game. Like, it's so many now in our league that I think we have a good, I guess they have a lot of juice now. Like, they should be weighted, to your point, a lot higher, and their input should be like, okay, this is how they view it. That should be a marker. And then you go with, like, a media, because they cover the game probably the most. That's their job. And then the players, who do they think within our community? And then coaches. Coaches got a game plan against us. Like, they know best. They'll be honest of who they're game planning against. So I think that's kind of how it should be. It should go in that order. And maybe media after players.
I wonder what that discrepancy would be. Like, if we could see, like, what the players voted versus what the media voted, like, over the last couple of years, and see how much different it really was, or someone might have got in otherwise.
That actually helps with the honesty factor. If you show what each player said, and I feel like that might they'll be like, all right, I can't just put no random name on there.
They should do that.
Yeah,
because it can't be. I was gonna say fans, but that's not fair too. Because a guy that has a huge social media following and has a bunch of fans, so that's out the window.
I mean,
come on,
like
NBA.
Zaza Pachulia getting all-star votes.
Starter vote.
Yeah, and it's like,
that's awesome though.
It's cool, but, like, come on, dog.
Right, you disrespect the game, man.
I'm glad.
No disrespect to Zaza. Let me just say that first, but come on.
I'm glad Wemby got Rookie of the Year, though. Definitely happy.
As he should.
I thought they was, he was up against old boy, and he wasn't even really a rookie. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about?
I
would have been mad. Would have been mad on something like that. Would have voted and been mad.
That is a tough conversation, just period.
Yeah, but he won it.
Because Chet doesn't get a chance, obviously, if you being hurt your rookie year. You don't get a chance to compete for a Rookie of the Year. So it is a tough,
right.
It is tough.
We're going to change it, man. I'm talking about your Pelicans. Y'all had y'all ups and downs, of course, like this guy over here. But when looking back in the season, what would you say is the most challenging part of competing in the NBA?
See, the thing is, though, that's like the most fun part. So it's tough to say, like, it's a challenge. But obviously, like, the schedule is grueling. Like, after around, like, March 3rd, or probably March 21st, we played a game every other day until the end of the season. And then we had to play in. And then we went straight into the playoffs. Like, that takes a toll on your body.
That's a lot.
It's traveling and all of that.
All that traveling. Like, we ended up having a road trip where we had a West Coast road trip, and then came back and played the Lakers at home. And it was a must-win game. Like, that was one of the toughest games.
So y'all have to play hard on the must-wins, of course.
Exactly.
Oh, my God.
And it was like, obviously, we had if you look at it in totality and, like, what, what our team was going through, we had a pretty successful season. It didn't end like we wanted it to, obviously, but, it was really successful. We beat a couple of teams a lot of different times, and, it was really fun.
I was happy to see Zion. I ain't gonna lie.
Absolutely.
All that stuff they talk about him and with his weight and all that, it looked like his weight was good this year.
Yeah, he was hooping.
He got some muscle and everything. How is it playing with that boy, man?
He's special. Like, I'm a hater at heart, and I don't get impressed by a lot of stuff. But, bro, there's so many times there's, like, different screen grabs and, like, screenshots of me just, like, be on the bench like, what? Or, like, in the game, like he'll throw the ball, like, just flick it with his left hand, hit the top of the square, and just go in. I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
it's just the power and the finesse with it.
Yeah, like, literally, like, my best description for him is like a strong bar soap. Like,
a strong bar of soap.
Yeah, like, it's crazy.
Solid but smooth.
Yeah, bro. Like,
solid but smooth.
Exactly. Like, he'll go through the lane, literally just, like, jump super high, spin off somebody, and just lay it up. And it's just like,
and he that, like, big.
Like, how do you do that?
Crazy.
Nah, like, he's special.
We never had a game plan for Zion, dog.
How do you
real?
guard? I was just gonna say because
We couldn't. I remember y'all came to LA and we was like, all right, back up like all the way to the free throw line. Like he's gonna bring it to us. Like just pack the paint.
We set pick and rolls at the elbow.
At the elbow, yeah, he was. But he was still getting to the basket, bro. He was still getting to the basket. We was picking him up at the elbow and he was still getting to the cup.
He
like,
fast.
how?
He fast.
How strong is he?
Yeah.
That's shit.
You gotta ask him. How strong is he?
It's interesting because you play with him every day, so you probably see other players being intimidated by him. Like that's got to be kind of funny to watch. Like no one's trying to.
I'll tell you this. My first time playing in Zion.
Yeah, I tell you this.
My rookie year. This one I wasn't playing. My first time playing against him was 3-on-3. Imagine that.
Oof,
He killed
5-on-5
everybody.
is tough.
Yeah.
Now
I'm
got a lot of
guarding him.
space.
yeah, now he got more space.
You can't double it 3-on-3. like there's nothing you can do with him.
So he just had a million dunks on y'all.
I mean, I might have been included in a few of those dunks, but he was just manhandling people.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like he'll get in the weight room, 225, just throwing it like it's nothing. He'll literally just be moving weight like it's nothing.
Yeah.
He's just naturally
That's
strong.
crazy.
He's
Shout out to Zion.
it's a freak of nature, man.
Yeah.
To be that nimble at that size, that explode. It's a like. I'm not saying this in no joking matter, but like in a way, it's like damn, something's got to give. Like I see, like damn, like it's so much power in that body. Like I feel like it's whether injuries are piling on at. It's so much power in him. Like you know what I mean?
He literally broke through a shoe.
My shoe.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
do
remember that?
better.
What, he was wearing your shoe, bro?
He broke through my
Yeah,
shoe.
that was actually good PR, wasn't it?
Wow, what
It
shoe?
was bad PR.
I'm
Bad
about
PR
to
is
say,
good PR.
man, who
Oh,
was
here
the,
we go.
What number was that? What number was that?
This
He was in
at-
college.
this
No,
was
what
at
number
Duke,
shoe
right?
was that?
It was 2.5s.
Yeah.
Oh no,
I remember that one.
the
yeah.
dude when the person that made the first ones and twos, that was the good one, right?
Yeah.
So he
Nah.
didn't make the 2.5.
No, he made the 2.5s. He was part of 2.5.
I can't lie. The
Oh.
ones was my favorite shoe.
Ones. You still wear the ones.
Off and on.
Yeah.
It's hard to find them, bro.
Yeah, it is.
It's
Even for
hard.
me.
It's hard to find.
I got a small collection right now.
And you know what's crazy too? I don't even know if he remembers, but Summer League last year, 2 years ago. No, last year. I talked to him, I was like, yo, what's up, bro? First thing I said, yo, I need some PG ones, bro. Like, what size shoe do you wear? Like, they told me it's only you that got the vault. Like, what size shoe do you wear? And he told me his size. I was like, bro, like,
Y'all wear the same size, 13?
no,
Nah.
bro. He wears a 13 and a half.
What
Yeah.
size?
14, 15?
15.
Yeah.
Damn.
See, I'm a
I would have
small.
just caught a
Right.
corn. Would have just caught that corn in that foot.
We're not going my feet ain't gonna be good for them. They don't need nothing else adding to that.
This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Hey guys, I know at times we tend to compare our lives to other people around us, especially with the rise of social media. What do you do when you get caught up wishing your life looked like someone else?
Personally, I don't have that problem because I'm happy with how my life turned out. And so, yeah, I look at the man in the mirror and I appreciate who that man is. And I don't get caught into that, what someone else is doing in their life.
What about you, Dal?
Yeah, I think it's easy to get caught up in social media, but I think sometimes you just got to count your blessings and be thankful for what you do have.
I agree. I agree with both of them.
Comparison is the thief of joy, and it's easy to envy other people's lives. It might look like they have it all together on Instagram, but in reality, they probably don't.
Therapy can help you focus on what you want instead of what others have, so you can start living your best life. If you're considering trying therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule.
Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched up with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge.
Stop comparing and start focusing with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/podcastp today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/podcastp. Everyone's got a thirst, a drive to be the next big thing, to put the world on notice. And for me, to be one of the best basketball players every night. So if you answer when your thirst call, Sprite's for you.
Well, you know it is for me then. My drive has got me to where I am today as an actor, And Sprite is for the makers and the creators like myself, the visionaries to put in the work to build their dreams. Whether you're shooting a cinematic masterpiece on your phone or filling your notebooks with sketches, or you're up all night turning your bedroom into the booth. Hey, keep going, because thirst is everything.
Being a managing partner in my own mortgage company at the age of 35 has quenched my thirst to be as successful as I wanted, but even that hasn't stopped my drive towards greatness. Sprite is made for those who thirst for success and are working to make their dreams a reality.
So keep going and remember to be true to yourself. Obey your thirst, Sprite.
So Trey, at the end of the season interview, you talked about how the Pelicans won 49 games this season, and if you guys were in the East, that you guys would have been the 3rd seed. And I'm just curious, do you think that the future, do you think that the NBA in the future should look into possibly kind of separating the East and West and just doing the top or the best 8 teams record-wise to make the playoffs? Or what is your take on that? Do you think they should keep it the same or possibly switch it? Because there is a huge gap from the East and the West. What you said was true.
I feel like you can do that because we don't play the teams like an equal amount. Like, we only play Eastern Conference teams twice. We play teams in our division 4 times.
Yeah.
Like, if we play the bottom 4 of the East, we're going to get a lot more wins. And so, it kind of inflates it. So, you can't really say, all right, best 16 teams. Now, that's going to be very entertaining, but you're going to have, 12 Western Conference teams and then, 4 Eastern Conference teams. And I think it's cool, but is it really fair, though?
The travel would probably be far worse for you guys, too.
For us?
Because wouldn't you have to go travel and play more East Coast teams?
But you're saying what is just a top 8?
Yeah, just the top 8 teams.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
From a competitive
top
standpoint.
8, yeah, no, because then you
because you're in that 20 range. It's all right, season's done. Pack it in.
Over with.
There's no more competitive drive. You know?
Yeah.
So
I'm just
yeah.
doing my job here, bud.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I think it kills what's been. I think the play-ins brought a lot of competitive edge to the league. I think they're trying to make every part of the season competitive, and I think that eliminates it if you do a top 8.
Why is it like that, though? Is it just because the cities and more people would rather live on the West? Why is there such a big gap between the East and the West? Why is it like that?
I don't know, it's kind of been like that for years. You think back of Kobe days where the West was kind of more talented than the East.
But why? Let's try to
maybe cities.
That's the only thing
cities.
I could think of. But I mean, there's some. I mean, just warmer weather in general.
Warmer weather in general. I mean, you look at for instance, you got LA, you got Dallas, you got Phoenix, you got the Bay, you got Houston, you got. I'm just thinking of good
Denver,
just good cities.
Yeah.
You put Denver on the list,
huh?
You put Denver on the list. And
Colorado is beautiful.
It's cool, but out of the rest of them, it's an East Coast city. It's cold over there.
I think that cool. Denver's probably more beautiful than some other states on the East Coast that are equally as cold. Denver's beautiful.
That's a good question, though,
yeah,
because
cool.
I'm not sure.
No offense to Denver, Colorado, obviously, but
I get it. It's not LA, but I'm trying to figure out why is it like that? That is a weird thing to think about. Because there's a huge gap. Yeah. It's not something small.
I think it low-key not started, but it got emphasized when KD and Kyrie all came over to the West. They were on Nets, came over to the West. Then James, he obviously went to Philly, and then he made his way over to the West. There's just so much player movement, and it just seems like guys are moving
Bradley
from
Beal
the East to the
to the West. Yeah.
Exactly. A lot of guys are just moving over to the West now.
That's true. Maybe West GMs and owners are willing to pay more.
Or maybe
they're willing to pay that tax.
A lot of the better players in the league are from the West Coast, and they want to stay West Coast. That's a decent argument, maybe.
The West is up.
They're not like
us.
Baby.
I'm not gonna finish.
Well, both of y'all being in the league, y'all can both vouch for this anyway. But having a 3-point shot has become very necessary in the NBA, if y'all both agree. Mm-hmm. This year, league's average was 35 attempts per game, which is the second most in the last 20 years. And with many attempts are being put up, how much of a challenge is it to keep a large lead in today's NBA?
It's extremely tough. It's extremely tough because of that 3-point line and teams having an emphasis to get more shots up. Because that's just how the game goes. You go up big and you try to protect the lead. You play slower. You try to, make it a possession game at that point while the other team is pressing. They doing junky things to throw you off. They pressing. They putting 5 guards on the floor, space the floor out, and they get their way, but they climb back into the game because they're launching threes and causing turnovers. You know what I mean? So I think it's more so of the team that's up by a big lead trying to manage the game and slow the game down, and you got the other team that's just firing away and pressuring and creating turnovers. So I think it's more so like I feel like it's just more like if the team had the same whatever you did to go up 30 points, keep doing that.
Keep doing it.
Like don't let up and try to protect the lead now.
Mhm.
So I think that's really the biggest reason when you see like teams go up big and then they start getting chopped down. And then now at that point it's anybody's game. Like one
Right.
team has momentum now and it's over,
What you say to that?
Yeah, if anybody knows that, it's us. We blew a lot of leads this year. I don't know.
Am I trying to shoot 3?
No, we shot it well. Don't do that. we shot well this year, so don't do that. But no, it's literally like a lot of teams, a lot of players are just like conditioned. All right, when you're up by a lot, try to slow the game down, and it just throws your rhythm off a lot of times. So then, like you're slowing the game down. You're getting a shot at the 4-second mark. Probably not a great shot. They're coming down, running offense, getting a 3 up at the 18-second mark. Like they're getting up shots quick, and now you're just like, all right, now we need to find our pace, find our flow again. And then that 20 goes down to 12. And then it goes down to 8. And then you're like, all right, like.
And now you're just trying to pick it back up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're trying to pick it back up, and you're not like warm because there's no real offensive flow. And so like that was our biggest thing for us. Like our emphasis was whenever you're up, stay up, keep playing the same way. No. And you could see with us, like we want to sub guys out to like 2-minute mark. Like Coach Green won't complain about that. He was like, y'all get out. You call a timeout like that. It'll be like that 4-minute timeout.
Yeah.
And we'll be like, all right, like let's go. He come out with a play. We see the starters' names on there. We're like, all right, come on, let's keep playing. Let's do it. I guess
That's what's crazy. I was talking to them a little. We might have talked about this a couple episodes ago of like back when I first came in the league, you could be up 20 points in the third quarter and you might sit for the rest of the game. You know what I mean? Just 20 points alone. Like you might sit in the fourth quarter just being up 20.
Yeah.
Now, bro, like, you like you said, like you might play until that last like minute and a half, 2 minutes if you're up 20.
Absolutely.
Like you gonna make sure you secure this win.
Absolutely.
It's a different time.
Did you watch the game that they played Dallas in the playoffs where they almost blew the biggest lead in playoff history?
Yeah.
How wild was that?
Almost.
Yeah, it didn't.
They didn't. Almost. I said almost.
Well, almost don't count, bro. So
Yeah, like,
I'm gonna give him. I'm gonna cut him some
shit that
slack.
don't
No,
matter.
that was almost.
It was close for sure.
We blew them out and won. Like,
Yeah, no, that was crazy.
and they beat us. They smacked us.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever watched a game with that. Like it was crazy.
You know what's so crazy though? Like the Clippers and the Mavs, they were just chilling. Like for like those last like 5 days of the regular season, while the rest of us were fighting tooth and nail. Literally every single team 1-3 and then 6-10. Like we're all just
Yeah, we
like
was pretty
fighting for
locked
our
in.
lives, and y'all just over there like, all right, we ain't gonna play. Like we just gonna let everybody else play.
It's just we were so familiar, like with Dallas. They knew us. We knew them. Like if they get home, cool. If we get home, cool. Like
yeah.
we know this opponent. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So we made sure, I think, that we locked in home. But after that, it was like, all right, well, we can't go up. They can't go down. Like we're stuck at 4 and 5.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he was like, man, let's get it. Let's just get it.
So we just saw Alex Caruso, one of my favorite players, and Mikal Bridges got traded to two teams that already had a solid perimeter defensive squad. And after everyone watching the Boston Celtics win the championship with 5 starters who are all good defenders and can score, do you think we are entering a new era of basketball where the importance of ISO defense is on the same playing level as three-point shooting is?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I said that. I called it. Like, as soon as Boston won, that is going to be the blueprint going forward. Like, to have 5 guys, if you count Horford and Porzingis, what they can do as far as putting the basketball on the floor. But you're going to have 5 guys that can potentially be on the perimeter and be able to make plays off the bounce. And Celtics like made the blueprint. They play both sides.
Mm-hmm.
So you know how this game is now. Like offensively, is give your best player the ball, let him attack the weakest person on the floor, and we're gonna milk that over and over until they put 2 on the ball. Now the game's easy. You make the read. So I think now you're gonna look at teams and be like, or you're gonna see teams try to put, lineups out there where you can't switch and take advantage of our weakest person because all of our players on the floor can guard now. So I think that move right there was like, all right, we got to compete against, like, New York think they're close. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Now we got to go compete against Boston.
Right.
You know what I mean? Same with Thunder. Like, I thought in the series against Dallas, they tried to pick on their weak defenders and get certain situations or certain players onto Luka. Like, all right, we got to, like, that's our chance. That's our key right there. We got to be able to guard whoever's on the floor. So I think that's just how the NBA is going.
I mean, it sounds a lot like the James Harden Rockets, in all honesty. Like that team that they had where they had PJ, Trevor Ariza, Eric Gordon, just 3 big, like, three strong, like, switchable defenders. And then they got Clint, who also can switch.
Mm-hmm.
And then James, obviously, he
plays defense when he wants.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my guy. That's my dog. He actually lock up when he want to lock up.
Exactly. Yeah, when he wants to lock up, he'll play, and especially post defense too. You're not posting him up either. That's not happening
at all. He's strong as shit.
Super strong.
That's a fact.
And so I think people are seeing that, and I think that was like one of the first teams that really was like, all right. I mean, they did that for the Warriors, but it was a good blueprint of, all right, we need to have guys that can switch, and we need to have guys that can hit open shots.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they weren't the same offensive threats as, Boston, but they also had James Harden, who was getting 30-point triple-doubles. Yeah. So you didn't really need guys like that. Yeah. But obviously, it's more teams that – what were you saying?
No, I want to see them Knicks this year. But them they Call of Duty quad that they got together.
That's great. That FaceTime was funny.
They had them.
Bro, they're so happy.
That's
my goodness.
They got all them together.
That's crazy though.
And they all 2-way players too, though, right?
Yeah.
And they got Julius. He'll probably be best.
It is interesting though to see how it's almost like defense is like the cool thing to do now again, and how much the league has gotten away from the defensive side of the ball, from the style of how it's played, from how it's how the referees ref the game. And now you're seeing these teams, it looks like there's more of a importance of the defensive side of the ball. So I'm curious, do you think that the way the game is reffed will maybe change a little bit if the style of basketball is now kind of leaning towards, hey, we want to get 5 defenders? Do you think the refereeing might switch up a little bit because it's been all offense? Yeah. Defense is like forgotten about. Now
That's a good call. That's a good call. That's a good call. Yeah, it has to. It has to. Like, I think enough is being said about the stars and like, you just look at Luka, right? Like, for as good as he was, I think this is the first time he's faced any heat of his game because he wasn't playing defense, right? So, like, now the emphasis is turning towards guys being able to play defense. And I honestly do believe that, like, you'll see different calls. You'll see the game being played from a different lens this year. And it's not so offensively driven. You know what I mean? Like, the defense will now have an importance on the floor, I think.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to get these little cheap calls, these little, non-basketball plays. They're already starting to take out the non-basketball fouls.
Mm-hmm.
So they're I think transitioning to we want to see guys guard again.
One thing I just read this because of the draft, they always do like the player projections and stuff like that. It's like a compliment right now for Jrue to be a player, like
a player
comparison. And what I think is funny, and I want to ask you about Jrue and his defensive ability and what you think of that. But I think people like don't understand like what a gift and how special. Like, it's easy to compare like, yeah, he's going to turn out like Jrue. Like, Jrue has a special gift on that defensive side of the ball. And I just think it's funny. Like, it goes back to defense is becoming cool again. Like, Drew's known for his defense right now. But what are your thoughts on Jrue on the defensive end of the ball?
Elite,
the best?
Yeah, he's up there. I can't lie. I don't know. Like, it's hard to say the best. Like, obviously, Herb, that's my guy. Like, I've gone against him in practice. Like, I see it. So obviously, I'm gonna say he's up there as well. But Jrue is just that combination of strength, like agility, quickness. Like, he has all of that defensively. I just remember one time last year, I had the ball at the top of the key, probably at like 30 feet. I look up at the shot clock, it's 5 seconds. I look at who's guarding me, it's Jrue. I was like, do I really want to try to ISO him, or am I just going to just shoot this from 30 feet? And I was like, I'm going to just shoot this from 30 feet. Almost went in, but, I was like, I'm going to just make a good business decision, because me trying to ISO him and then he takes the ball and then goes lays it up, especially at the end of shot clock. I don't want to deal with that. So
it's crazy that, like, you have that, like, that's a decision you're trying to make on the fly. Like,
absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like,
no, for sure.
It's just a nod to Jrue. Like, that's a decision like people make. Like,
it's probably the better decision too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I still make that. I told you, he's one of the toughest people that I have to guard, or that matches up on me. Like, I make those decisions all the time. Like, today is not going to be a dance day, P. Like, I talk like P. Today is not the day.
Since y'all both played against you, I want to ask y'all both, what makes his defense so special? What
he's got instincts, bro. Like, it's just instincts you can't teach. Like, he has quick hands, quick feet, like, and he anticipates well. Like, he's, and it's just like he has that bully mentality that, like, I'm on you the whole game. Like, it's just a uniqueness that he plays defense. Like, I don't know. You can't break it down more than it's just an instinct that he has to play defense. Like, he has great timing. Went from stealing to going challenge shots, blocking shots. He just has great timing. He's quick, laterally, and I don't know. He's just springy, bro. Like, it's even when you shake him, he's like still back into play.
Yeah.
How many times he been to the finals?
Twice.
He got
Twice.
2 championships.
2 for 2.
Twice.
He's 2 for 2.
And
So he never
made
been to the
so many
finals
winning
all the
plays.
time?
It was
Damn.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
just through the whole playoff run. I mean, even like the championship, like the finals run.
He shot like
when
50, 40, 90.
He had 26, and they were like almost all layups. But it was like he just was in the right
Just
spot.
in the right spot,
He was just in
yeah.
the right spot. But like the thing about his defense is like a few different things. So one of the special things that I like try to pick up is like when people attack, instead of like fully sliding, because you're not going to cut them off fully sliding, is the whole back pedal and still stopping them. Jrue is probably one of the best at that. And like he'll back up, like he'll back pedal, chest you, and then literally take the ball because you're trying to get low and trying to get past. I'm trying to change direction. And he's waiting for that. And then also with him, like if you remember against Indiana, the steal he had on Nembhard, he fell. He fell at first, recovered, and then stole the ball. And that was game 3, correct?
Yeah.
That's one of the most important games.
That was a series right
This
there.
is literally a series right there, because if Indiana gets that one, then they're like, all right, we can try to get this one, bring Tyrese back, and you never know what happens after that. But they literally force it to 3-0, and it's like, all right, game 4, we down 3-0. Like, ugh, that's
Kids,
I
y'all
know
better
Milwaukee
study
had the stupid
that
look.
Jrue.
tough.
Y'all better
Yeah.
study Jrue, kids.
Drew's
Yeah.
tough.
That boy tough, boy.
Speaking of defense, we got to talk about your ability now to play both ends, being a two-way guy. Like, where
I
did someone
appreciate
put
that now.
pressure?
Yeah, I appreciate you saying now.
No, I mean, I think this past season you took a step towards being a defender. I mean, of course, people, you have this is the player that's coming into the league. So, like, when you're looking on the scouting reports,
Be
good
blunt. Yeah,
defender.
be blunt.
Like,
Go ahead, be blunt. Go ahead, say what you
it
gotta
wasn't
say.
like, oh, okay, he's a defensive player now.
Yeah.
But I think you took a huge leap in like challenging of offensive players this season. Did someone like where did like were you like, man, you know what, I need to be better this year defensively? Was there a coach? Was there, you talked about Herb being your guy. Was it looking at Herb, what he can do? I'm similar frame, similar body style. Like, I can compete on that end the same way. What was your approach this season and how you got better on the defensive side?
I've always pointed to one specific game. It was a Lakers game here in LA. And that was probably one of the worst defensive performances I've ever had in my entire life.
That's all it takes.
And I literally told myself I will never feel like this again.
What happened? What happened?
Just getting cooked.
Somebody was just frying you, or you just like
I mean, it was everybody.
closeouts,
it was-
like blow-bys?
No, it was literally everybody. Like, I almost hurt BI because I got bumped off the line, fell, hit him.
Yeah.
He's laying down, holding his eye, like, and then D'Lo, he hit like 4 straight threes as well. And you know how D'Lo can get very, very hot.
Right.
But, and then also Coach Green, he's very defensive minded already. And so it was literally after that game, like me and him sat down, he was just like, you got to help me. Like, you got to give me something on that end because anyway.
You're good.
Anyway. I remember because we played Portland the next day and I just knew I had to be better. And then from that day, it was literally like, I was just locking up. I was paying attention to people's tendencies, like, and just taking on challenges. I remember, like I said, like when we played against y'all, they were talking about matchups and I was like, no, like I want to guard PG. Like that's a matchup I want to see. Like I watch enough film. I know, I'm not going to say I know exactly what he's going to do, but I know what he likes to get to. So I want to take on that challenge. And I feel like I did a pretty good job that night.
You locked him up?
It was in New Orleans?
No, this was in LA.
Yeah, y'all got to.
Go ahead.
Y'all present a tough because it's Trey out there, it's BI out there, it's Herb out there, like.
And then also Zion towards the end of the year, he was locking up.
He was guarding.
And he was blocking shots crazy
and then
too.
GTA is a pest. Like it's just y'all should and are dangerous defensively. Like
absolutely.
Y'all create turnovers. Y'all got the long arms to kind of, you know, shut the floor down and make the floor smaller than what it is. So y'all was a tough cover. Y'all was a tough cover. I have no problem saying that. But I will be ready for y'all next year. I will say that.
Talk to him.
You dig?
Who's the most difficult player for you to guard in the NBA in your first 3 years? Who would you say presents the most challenges for you?
That's a tough question. One, because I had to put my pride to the side and answer that.
Because you kind of don't want this person to know. Like.
Exactly. And it's like, they cooking you like, yeah, you remember, right? Like, you know, no, I don't want
whisper it to me. I tell him, whisper it to him. I got you.
But I would say the guy that I probably struggled with a lot, like earlier on, was probably Shea. Because a lot of guys have a cadence of rhythm and like a timing that they play with. I don't know what his timing is.
Yeah.
Like you literally don't know. And he just moves so just different and like unorthodox. So I would say he's probably up there. I would say playoff series though, it was like you start to figure out more in a playoff series on how to guard people because you're so locked into what they're doing. And so I think I, you know, did a little better in that playoff series. Obviously, he scores 30 a game. Like, I think that's the biggest thing people have to understand. Like, if a person scores 30 and averages 30 for the whole season, they can score on anybody.
Right.
They can score on anybody. So people are like, oh, he's getting cooked. He literally averages 30.
Yeah.
Like,
this is what his average is.
This is his average for 82 games. He don't sit out games either. So yeah, he doesn't.
That's
so
crazy.
Nah, Shea is a tough coverage, man.
Yeah.
Shea is because he does have like just a weird, not a weird way of moving, but like it's like he does things where you don't think he's attacking you, but then when you guard him, he's like, oh, this motherfucker attacking me right now. And before you know it, it's like he's left hand scoop layup. Like,
bro, playoff game 2, literally, because like first game I guarded him pretty well. Like he was like, I think 1 for 9 or something like that. Game 2, he was probably like 5 for 5 on me, but didn't miss one. And he was backpedaling and going forward at the same time. And I'm just like, and then they showed it on film. I'm like, did y'all even just see what he did? You really think you could have guarded that? Like,
that's crazy.
He got some shit.
Like he went between
some shit.
How did he do that? How did you backpedal and go forward?
Trust me, I don't know how to explain it, but if you see it on film, you're like, okay, he backpedaled and went forward. Like,
shape.
We want to pivot towards Zion, right? Zion had an amazing run, but he ended up getting hurt during that game, and just everything that was around him that he had to kind of battle through, right? The media talk, you know, stuff in his personal life going on, the injury, and now people piling that back on to his past. And just for someone that I feel for him, because at the end of the day, like, as far as the injuries, like, you know, that's part of the game. Like, you don't know when you're going to get hurt, and you're not planning to get hurt.
Absolutely.
But with all of that that's going on around him, like, what part did you guys take on, like, just kind of keeping him lifted and, you know, whether it was on the court, off the court, what was that locker room, right? Like, what's the locker room like as he's going through these stuff? What part do you guys play in this?
Well, first off, like, our locker room, in all my years of playing basketball, it might be the best locker room I've been a part of. And, like, I've been a part of college locker rooms. Obviously, you know how tight and close those are. And like everybody was just for him and like supporting him. You gotta understand, he's been in the limelight since he was 16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is tough. Like everything you do is either scrutinized, praised, like they're watching you with a close eye. Like, that's really tough to deal with. And like we'll get to cities and it'll be like a back-to-back. We're getting in at 2 a.m. and there's some grown man with a Zion jersey like, yo, Zion. Like, you understand how crazy that is?
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody wants like your attention, wants you just wants you to be like with them. And it's just like, you don't have time to be yourself. So you have to take that into the fact as well. It's like, he's younger than me. Like he's been in the league for going on 5 years, but he's younger than me. And like he's still growing and maturing. And so just being there for him, I think a lot of people just hear what the media say and try to just keep piling on because everybody's in this crabs in a bucket type of mentality where like somebody's about to get out, they're trying to pull them down in some type of way. So I think the biggest thing for us was that we just showed him support, told him we'd be there for him. I mean, we always supported him.
When y'all fully healthy, what does that potential look like for you guys? Like where you say you guys are at when you're fully healthy, everybody's locked in?
I mean, it's a deep playoff run. I mean, obviously you can't say a championship because there's a lot of luck that plays into a championship. If I'm being honest, but it's for sure a deep playoff run. We had 5 to 6 guys that could get 30 on any given night, and people would be like, okay. Like how many teams can you really name that?
There's not many.
5 to 6 guys to get 30, and you're like,
yeah, there's not many.
Not many. So if you just put that all together, especially with a team of guys that want to be coached, want to defend, like that's a winning recipe.
So it's summertime right now, and it's always fun during the summer because we get to see, different players from different teams in the NBA working out with each other in the summer. Great example is the Rico Hines runs up at UCLA, but a lot of guys kind of click together, and you'll see, for instance, James Harden just posted a photo, and I think it was Chet and KD, they were working out together. But when it comes to that kind of stuff and working out with other NBA players, is that something like you guys like? Is that like because they're friends? Is it because they have the same trainers? Like, is there like certain players that you guys would not want to work out with? Like if you knew other NBA players were going to go, are you guys wanting to know who's there and stuff like that?
I mean, there's probably certain people that I wouldn't work out with, but it's from a relationship standpoint. Like, I don't fuck with you, so why would I work out with you? But from I don't look at it from a competitive edge. It's more so like, I like his game. I like, how he does certain things on the floor. Let me see, if I can add that to my game, or he might see the game differently than I see it when we're doing moves, and he might have a different, dribble cadence, or I'm all for working with like other dudes. Like I don't look at it from a let me hide my shit or not show what I can do, or no, I want to it's a cool environment. We both here to get better. We both pushing each other, and it's competitive. Like if I'm making shots and he missing shots, like I kicked his ass in the gym the other day. Like I worked him in it. Like, so it's a competitive edge already. But I'm a fan of it. Like I think it's cool that you pushing each other to be better.
I feel that's how acting is. You want to work with the best of the best, and there's certain people that you don't want to work with. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some people that I don't like and I don't want to work with. Some producers, ain't every producer and director I want to work with, because some of them not good and some of them is
it happens
asshole.
everywhere.
Yeah.
It happens everywhere. Like that's why you go to with trainers, they go to clinics. They pass notes, they share information to help, progress training. Like same shit we doing.
Shit.
You know what I mean? It makes no difference. I don't know why they always try to put that we have to be enemies all the time. In every other establishment, people work together and they get better by training and teaching each other, and makes no difference in sports. So I don't get it. Boxers train against each other during training. They spar against each other, and yet you still see them when they face off against each other. Like,
Even
All that
tennis
shit goes
players,
to the side. Like, I'm about to whoop your ass.
Does,
tennis
does,
players
does it
warm
ever
up.
get over?
Tennis players, they
They
train
warm up
against
with
each
each
other.
other
Like they
before
train
they
with
even
each
play,
other,
yep.
and it comes a point where, all right, now we got to compete against each other. Like,
Does it ever get over competitive? Because I would imagine, no one wants to get hurt. You guys are both there to get better. But does the competitiveness ever just, where it gets real serious out there? You know what I mean? Have you been a part of a session where it's like, okay, that was a lot?
I never been a part of any sessions. I never been a part of. I lie.
See, there had to have been a time where it got personal a little bit out because you're competing.
Yeah,
it has to happen sometimes.
Yeah, it was a funny situation where it was like early in my career. We playing pickup, and Jordan Crawford and KG get into it.
Okay, that's crazy.
And I want to tell the story right, but it's been so long ago. I kind of forgot how, but it was the sum of it was like I think KG or I think Jordan like was trying to run through a screen or something like that, and KG like talking his shit like low ass nigga like he said something like that. Jordan snapped, so they square off like we had to de-escalate it and like, but it happens like dudes get into it. It's more so when you playing, not necessarily training with each other, but you playing against each other. I've seen that happen a couple times. Yeah. Jordan can vouch for me on that story.
We'll talk to him.
Before we go, anyways, before we leave, I know y'all in the NBA and all that, but I don't know how close of friends y'all are. I don't know if you call this dude, he call you. But with all that said, man, before we wrap this show up, do you have any questions you want to ask this hater over here? Be about sports, anything you want to ask.
You put me on the spot on that one. Let's see.
Tough.
This is a tough one.
Because y'all both was hating shit.
I mean, hey, I'm a proud hater. Like I said,
yeah, he did. He said, "I'm the biggest hater."
They come from my parents. They both haters, so I had no choice. I would say, all right, I'll be very vulnerable. Like when you're making like a lot of money, obviously, like I'm coming to like a contract extension in summer. Like we're making a lot of money, and you have all these expectations. Like, what's been the biggest thing to help like center you and make you, understand like you're still the player that they paid. Like, even when you're going through a rough patch.
I mean, I never look at yourself. I think that's where players get in trouble, where especially the more money you make, the bigger contract you get. Never have the mindset of, all right, I'm making $40 million a year. Like, I should be playing at this level. Like, that's not what got you there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stay true to what got you there. Like, you're a hard worker. You go through rough patches. Like, Jordan had rough patches. Kobe had rough patches. Like, that's part of the game. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The older I got, the more I realized that, like, that don't define who I am. That's just moments in the year. You can't, like, that's why the game is percentages. Like, you can't make every shot. Mm. And so I think just let the value lie there opposed to the value lying around how much money you make. Because you're going to get yourself into like a rabbit hole of, damn, I'm making this, like I said, this amount of money. Like I should be performing at this level. I should be making these shots, or I should be, doing this X, Y, and Z. Don't let it be about that. And then just from making money standpoint, like just surround yourself around people smarter than you, bro. Surround yourself around. That was the best advice I got. And it's kind of what, like, when I think of my business partners and business plans, is having people that's smarter than me around me that I can talk to and I can lean on and I can ask questions. Because that part of the world, like, I don't know if you came for money.
Nope.
I sure as hell didn't. And so it's a lot of conversations that, like, words I've never heard of. Like, and I've had to be taught these things. And so, when it comes to that side of it, that's my advice to you. But from the playing standpoint, just make it as vanilla as possible, bro. You've been a star. It's the reason why you're in the NBA. It's the reason you're going to get another contract. You're going to get a bigger contract after that. You're going to keep elevating. What got you there, continue to keep doing that. Don't make it about the money at any point.
Appreciate that.
It's facts.
It's a great question.
Good?
That was a great question.
Off the fly. That was great.
That was a
no
lot
pun
better
intended.
than what I thought it was going to be. Once you said you're on the spot, it was perfect.
Yeah, I
I
appreciate
like when
that.
I get to ask the guest that, man.
You do like that.
You get some good stuff when you're not.
It's a low key segment.
I like it. I like it. It's my segment.
It's a low-key
It's my segment. It's a low key segment.
Hey, well, there you have it. That is a wrap on the episode. Trey, we appreciate you coming through, bro. You was awesome on the
Appreciate
show.
y'all. Absolutely, yeah.
Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned to the New Orleans Pelicans this season. You dig?
Yeah.